One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Good afternoon, everybody, on a Thursday afternoon. Down here in South Florida, it's bright and sunny. The weather is just absolutely amazing. It was cold for a couple days, and then now it's just like perfect weather. Kind of chilly in the morning, and then it warms up in the afternoon. Just perfect. Wherever you are, I hope you're either warm and enjoying the sun or just enjoying life completely. I'm going to be talking to you today about enjoying life. I'm going to talk to you today about how you can avoid the insanity that you may be seeing online. But before I get into that, I want to send out a holla, a well wish. I want you guys all to join me as well, because I don't want to see anybody have these kind of issues, whether they're Democrats or Republicans. John Fetterman. During an early morning walk, Senator Fetterman sustained a fall near his home in Braddock. Out of an abundance of caution, as he was transported to a hospital in Pittsburgh, upon evaluation, it was established he had a ventricular fibrillation flare-up that led to Senator Fetterman feeling lightheaded, falling to the ground, and hitting his face with minor injuries. Senator Fetterman had to say, "If you thought my face looked bad before, wait until you see it now." He is doing well and receiving routine observation at the hospital. He has opted to stay so doctors can fine-tune his medication regimen. Senator Fetterman is grateful for the EMTs, the doctors, and nurses who are providing care. You know, it's pretty interesting is that there are going to be people, hopefully not in this chat, who would be pissed off the fact I just read that. We've gotten to that point in our political ecosphere where people don't even like well wishes for certain people. I don't want to see him dead. I think he's lurch. I don't like some of the things he says. I like some of the stuff he says, but I don't wish ill on anybody. I wouldn't like to see that happen. So I hope Senator Fetterman recovers quickly and gets back to whatever the full health measurement is that he has. Having had relatives who have had, fibrillation issues, it ain't fun. And, you know, I've had also relatives who have fallen once they've gotten older, and they can die. So, you know, hope he takes care of himself. Little housekeeping before we get into things. 2 o'clock, Melania Trump and President Trump will be signing executive orders, so we will obviously cut to that as soon as it happens. And pretty much, I think, wait a minute, tonight, I think J.D. Vance is on one of the shows, so tonight's show will basically be showing J.D. Vance's interview. I believe if it's not Hannity, it's Jesse, one of the two, but I'll post it when we're ready to do that. So that's all the housekeeping I have as of right now. Now, some other really big news is going on, and you may not be paying attention. And this popped up, what time did this get posted? At 12:34 p.m. 12:34 p.m. This got posted. I wanted to show this to you before we start the show because I think it sets a tone overall. New foreclosures jump 20% in October, a sign of more distress in the housing market. Foreclosure starts, which are the initial phase of the process. So let me just tell you what that means. It means that there's been a default. Doesn't mean that the foreclosure has gone through. There's stages in a foreclosure. First, you get your notice of default, which means you're at least 30 to 60 days behind. So these are people who right now in, September? Yeah, maybe September, stop paying their mortgage. Now they're getting their default notices to start the foreclosure process, or list pendants, which is something else I'd get into with you. Let's see here, which rose 6% for the month, were 20% higher year over year. Completed foreclosures, the final phase, when they actually take your home from you and auction it off, are up 32% year over year, nationwide. Foreclosures, read that again, completed foreclosures, the final phase, were up 32% year over year. Florida, South Carolina, and Illinois led the nation in state foreclosure filings. Understand what you're reading there is people already got involved in mortgages that they may not been able to pay. They went in and got in over their head. It's very important with everything you see going on. We're going to talk about that. But when you see this kind of stuff and you see it happening and you see the signs. Remember, you guys just watched the movie The Big Short. Now, did some of these happen because it happened to coincide with the shutdown? Not sure. But as we're seeing this, and we're seeing it's up 32% year over year, now you couple that with what everybody is screaming about on X, and now you just watched the movie with me, The Big Short, and right now lights should be going off as you see this. Foreclosure filings again climbed again in October after previously hitting historic lows in recent years. While the numbers are still small, the persistent rise may be a sign of cracks in the housing market. There were 36,000 U.S. properties with some type of foreclosure filing in October, such as default notices and what I was saying. And this is the important thing I wanted to point out for those of you who watched the movie. Those of you who didn't watch the movie, you may want to go back and watch the movie now that you're seeing it repeat itself. I posted something earlier today and I said people who don't know their history, they're doomed to repeat it. It was 3% higher than September and a 19% jump from October 2024 and marked the 8th straight month of annual increases. And you can go through here and you can read all this information that you want, but this is what we talked about on the other day when we saw the movie. I told you that the entire 2008 debacle, when everything crashed, and you saw it in the movie, is when foreclosure defaults got to 8%. And during the movie, the guy was talking, and he's like, yeah, so where are we at now? We're already at 4%. Well, At the peak of the Great Recession, over 4% were in foreclosure. In addition, 4% of mortgages are delinquent. At the peak of the financial crisis, almost 12% were. So no foreclosure tsunami to worry about. Everything here is fine. Do you know what the default rate is today, before all the nonsense that they're talking about? Do you have any idea what the default rate is right now? Right now, we're right about 4. It's about 3.5, 3.75% of nationwide defaults, and there's other default areas that pockets are even higher. So we're approaching that 4% bells and whistle time to go off. And people who understand this are looking at this. And the reason why I'm even sharing it with you is because these are the type of things I look at and make me do less videos, because it means the real estate market is about to go on fire. I'm not a realtor. I'm an investor. I do not buy properties to move in. I buy properties as a commodity. I buy properties from people who are in trouble. I buy properties from banks that are in trouble who say, I need to move this piece of crap. Just like they said in the movie, how many are you willing to buy? Now, I'm not one of those guys who's walking in and saying, hey, give me $50 million worth of your bad loans. That's not me. I'm at a much smaller scale. But now we're all starting to see this stuff going, the meter is popping. The meter is going like this, and we better watch out where before this thing just goes off. Just goes off the hook. And now they're talking about a bit more mortgages. And I said it, like, they do that. We are going to crush it. We're not just going to make money. We are going to crush it. If you survived the 2008 debacle, or even if you didn't, if you learned from what happened in 2008, you're sitting back going, oh man, is it about to happen again? Are we really going to give out mortgages to mirror foggers? Mirror foggers, people whose only asset is they can breathe. They can fog a flipping mirror. They have no down payments. They have no credit history. They have no resources, no reserves. And we're going to give these people mortgages because we got to do something for the first-time home buyers. That's when you start doing like that. That's when you start realizing, oh man, these people are about to go do something stupid. Watch what happens if this thing keeps happening. This can snowball very, very, very quickly. And when it does, just like in a movie, it's OMG, what the hell do we do? And this is before we start giving away easy mortgages. I hope you can see that. I hope you can actually begin to look and say, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. I do not want to pour gasoline on a fire that's starting to peak. I don't want to be a financial arsonist. But for some reason, there are a lot of influencers who are walking around with kerosene and gasoline and pouring it on this stuff. And they're doing it because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. It sounds good. And they haven't sat and looked at the fundamentals. You know, when you go to the doctor, they take your pulse. They put the thing on your finger and see what your oxygen level is. They go like this with the stenographer to see and listen to you and make sure. They grab stuff and say cough. They're doing stuff because they want to see what are the baseline fundamentals as you walk in. If all those are okay, then they start looking at other stuff. But if that stuff right at this top, hey, your heart rate's like, hey, your blood pressure's like, hey, there's no oxygen. You got problems. Well, the vital signs right now today, which none of you can deny, are starting to show there's something wrong. The title of the article says a lot. Title of the article, as you can see, foreclosures jumped 20%, showing distress in the housing market. When I see things like distress, those are the adjectives that make me start to salivate. See, I have been, I guess you could say, I am a distressed property buyer. I'm the ambulance that you call when you need help. I'm not coming in to decorate. I'm not coming in to help you do some landscaping. I'm coming in to save you. I'm coming in to make sure you don't financially expire. I'm the one that comes in when you're like, hey, if this thing hits me, I'm done. I won't be able to buy a house for another 7 or 8 years. And so I buy distressed properties. That is specifically what I look to do. The one we just purchased. The guy, his wife died, and he was old, I think like 92 years old, and he couldn't keep the property up, and he wanted to, move into a condo or something. I'm the guy you call. So when you see these things happening, even if you are a retail buyer is someone defined as somebody who is going to move into the property. That's a little bit different than who I am. I'm not looking to move in. I got a home. I look at every single property deal as an investment. What's it going to return to me? So in order for me to buy it at a reasonable return, I have to make my money on the purchase, not on the exit. I have to make sure I buy at the right price. The right price is dropping, which allows you to profit on the back end. So right now, they're doing the vitals, and CNBC is letting everybody know right up front, hey, we got a problem. The market's not doing what it's supposed to. Its EKG ain't looking good. And so I'm just going to close this segment by just asking you, if the EKG in the housing market is starting to show distress, why would we be looking to put people who are undeserving of mortgages into this mess? That's something we really have to address. I'll be right back.
Back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
How old were you when you realized the tooth fairy was mom just sticking, well, back then it was a quarter. I don't know if people still get quarters or if they get dollar bills, but how old were you when you realized there was no such thing as the tooth fairy? And then the big one. And I don't want to shock anybody, so look away while we talk about Christmas for a second, because if you don't know this, I don't want to be the one to bring it to you, but how old were you when you realized there was no Santa Claus? How old were you when you realized there's no Easter Bunny? You see, most of us were quite young when we realized those things weren't real. And because we learned those things weren't real, we understood this was a part of growing up. I went to Catholic school. Part of our rite or ritual was, you get your first communion, and then you get confirmed, whatever that means anymore. And, then you move on. In the Jewish faith, you know, the whole bar mitzvah, bas mitzvah, whatever those rites of passages are in your culture or your community, you go from being a child to an adult, and you go through certain stages. And then, you know, personally, you also go through certain stages. You know, everything's great. You're playing sports. You get a girlfriend. You break up with that first girlfriend, or she breaks up with you. The world is ending. But then you realize, no, the world isn't ending. I got another one. And if you're lucky, you get a couple more. You don't sit there and say that Susie Q ruined your life. She broke up with me. I have to tell you, that never happened with me. Okay, just let you know. But things happen and you move on. You don't regress and you don't blame other people. See, I posted this morning and I really meant this question. When you were growing up, did you blame other people for the condition of your life? And I'm like asking for a few boomer friends, and I got my little confused baby there. Did you? Did you say, my life sucks because of black people? My life sucks because of Spanish people. My life sucks because men. My life sucks because of women. My life sucks because of my boss. My life sucks because of my parents. My life sucks because of my teachers. My life sucks because of police. And were you doing this all the time? Probably not. And how do I know it? Because I know I didn't, and I saw people here in the comments on this were like, no, you did not have the luxury of saying it's somebody else's fault. Most of us, our parents told us, get over it. She broke up with you. You got fired. Whatever it was, you didn't stay in that position. You moved on. And what we're seeing right now, I don't know if there's been a metamorphosis or what over the last 20 or 30 years, everything is somebody else's fault. Everything is somebody else's responsibility. How the hell did we, wait a minute, hold on, let me check something. How did we all grow up understanding we had to take care of ourselves? Now, I'm not talking about, you had to go out and find your own home when you were 13 unless you ran away. When I ran away, I think it lasted like 4 hours because I got hungry. And my mom knew. She's like, you leaving? Yeah, I'm leaving. Okay. You sure? Yep, I'm sure. I'm out of here. Wait a minute, about 4 o'clock. I'm like, I'm feeling hungry. And I went home. And it was I've told you about that a few times because it was a big life lesson for me. Nothing I was going through was bad enough that it was somebody else's fault. Yet now, here we are in 2025, and people can't eat because of you. People can't get jobs because of you. People can't buy homes because of you. People can't because of you. You're a boomer. You did it. And I am not going to accept that burden. I don't expect you to accept that burden. You see, what's going on right now, and I'm going to give you a term to go look up and really dwell on and understand what this term means. We are seeing an overwhelming amount of confirmation bias. If you've never heard that term, you're welcome. Now you get to go look it up and find out what in the hell is Barry talking about confirmation bias. Well, back then, our confirmation bias when we were growing up, I hung out with a lot of other football players. I know a lot of people who might have been gearheads, as they were called back then. There might have been the cheerleaders. We had our own little clique that we hung out with because those people reaffirmed what we believed. We didn't hang out with the gearheads and the greasers and the pot smokers because we didn't believe that. And because we didn't believe that, we hung out with the people that we believed. Yeah, we're going to play football. Let's go work out. We're going to work out. We're going to run. That's confirmation bias at a young age. Confirmation bias at an adult age is thinking that it's somebody else's fault. The reason why things are happening to me and I need you to confirm it. Isn't it true it's Trump's fault? Yeah. Isn't it true it's boomers' fault? Yeah. And so that confirmation bias has now taken hold of social media. If you believe a certain thing, you can find that group somewhere on social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. You can find that group and wallow together. I think they call it Blue Sky, actually. But now it's already coming across that there are people who were supposedly Trump supporters are seeking confirmation bias in fractions, different segments of people who thought they knew what Trump was all about, thought they were going to get what they thought they were going to get, and now they're not liking what they see, and so they're seeking out the affirmation of people who feel like them. You've seen some of these people. Some of them are pollsters. Some of them are former law enforcement. Some of them are former politicians. Some of them are in the media. They speak to a specific group. And some of you may say, hey, Barry, you're doing the same thing. You're a Trump supporter and you only talk to Trump supporters. The difference is, I don't need your affirmation. The difference is, if you unsubscribe and don't watch, I'm not changing my talk. The difference is, even if he's no longer president, I still feel the same way. That's the big difference. And the problem that's happening right now is that because of social media and the misery that people have, it is becoming amplified. There's even a term for it now. It's called rage baiting. Rage baiting is the new grievance merchant. You see, I know if I started talking crap about Trump, I would attract a certain element. And that element is all over X. They're looking like roaches trying to find out where can I glom onto because of my confirmation bias and the ability for my rage baiting. And the problem with X and some of these networks is that they encourage it by paying people to do it. And I don't mean that Elon Musk is actually cutting a check and telling people, go ahead and rage bait, but essentially he is. People have figured out, if I talk crap about Trump, if I talk crap about boomers, there are going to be so many people who are so pissed off at boomers that I will get a lot of people to come watch my stuff. And the more people that come watch my stuff, I can make money, even if I don't mean it. And that's where the problem is because I feel like we're seeing imposters. I think we're seeing a lot of people who are doing like this and going, where is the crowd going? And if the crowd is going over here, I can snare some of those people. One of those things that you can always detect where people are who talk like that are people who talk like this dude. And he said Trump's policy shift, which I didn't see a policy shift. Did you? Trump's policy shift will destroy him in the midterms. Look at the prediction markets. Like that can't be influenced as well. It's the Crips and the Bloods. He meant to say Crips, not dead people in the Bloods. It's the Crips, C-R-I-P. Crips and the Bloods. Cheap labor, 50-year mortgages. They are telling you it's going to get worse. All these politicians are rich. They got their way by playing games. So if you feel that, and this is what I said to the young gentleman, and I will say to anybody who's out there rage baiting, why are you talking about it on Twitter? What are you going to do about it? If people truly feel the way that they are posting, then stop posting about it and make your plans accordingly. Hey, he's going to get wiped out in the midterms. All right, I know right now I've got until 2026 in November to get my shit together because Trump's going to lose. I wouldn't be tweeting about it. Just like I showed you the foreclosures. Hey, there's something happening in the real estate market. We need to keep an eye on this. I'm making plans. I'm talking to Ashley. I'm talking to finance guys. Here's what we're going to do as this stuff progresses. I ain't crying about it. Do something. Stop just posting. And my last thing here was, it doesn't matter if we believe it. You don't have to convince me that Trump's going to lose in the midterms. So why are you posting it? Why are certain pollsters posting it? Hey, President Trump's going to get wiped out in the midterms. All right, well, if you believe that, what are you doing about it? If you believe right now that President Trump's going to lose and the Republicans are going to get destroyed, what are you doing about it? This feed just came up. Because if you're not doing anything about it, then you're pretty much full of crap. Excuse me for a minute. That volume is high. Hold on. Let me. It's really loud over there in the ballroom, wherever they are. But that's my point. My point being, all these people who are complaining on X, and they're seeking confirmation bias. They're seeking other people who feel the same way. Why the hell are you talking about it? And some of you guys, if you really feel that Trump's messing up and you think he's going to lose the midterms, what are you doing about it? What exactly is your plan for moving forward? I know what my plan is either way. I've mentioned to you many times about the hurricanes coming off the coast. And this is a perfect analogy. If you think there's a Cat 5 election coming next November, are you just going to keep talking about it? You're going to put gas in the tank, get some cash, do whatever you need to do, get some panels, prepare for it. See, the people on X aren't preparing for anything. They're just simply rage baiting. They are simply trying to drum up engagement, cause issues, cause problems. They don't mean it themselves. You'll see people posting about all kinds of things. And somebody asked me in the comments, I don't know where it was, but I said, well, the easiest thing would just be to ask somebody, so what are you doing? Don't even engage with all of "you're wrong." Don't say that. They want that. Oh, you're wrong. Well, I can prove it to you. Trump's gone back on his word. Says Epstein and blah, blah, blah. Okay, then if it's that bad, what are you going to do about it? And you'll see there's no answer to that. No answer whatsoever, because they're not in it for the fix. They're in it for the rage baiting. So I got two terms for you today: confirmation bias and rage baiting. You look up those two terms and you keep that in your mind as you move forward, and you will see a lot of things. As I said here, rage baiting is the same as being a grievance merchant. The algorithm allows people who complain to make money. The reason being is that social media has provided an opportunity for those with the most to grieve about to find others who feel the same way. The old adage that misery loves company, I don't know, maybe it's a boomer. That's a boomer adage. Misery loves company is most suited on social media platforms. The difference right now is that misery absolutely pays. So how do you trust people who are talking all kinds of crap about Trump, but last month or 2 months ago or 4 months ago were all Trump, 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 and now they've changed? Well, the easiest thing is to don't listen to them. Learn how to decipher the messaging that you are seeing. And I know it's not easy. And after Melania and President Trump come out, I will show you something that you can do to make it better, so that you don't have to hear all the panic stuff. Your life will change if you just separate yourself from the panicans and the race baiting and the grievance merchants. It's sucking you in, maybe even here in the chat, and people are telling you life sucks, this sucks, that sucks. It doesn't suck. Let me show you one thing if I have time. She hasn't come out there yet. All right, so this came out the other day, and Benny posted, who I'm getting really kind of weirded out about. Like the dude, but Benny, gotta stop. This is what it looks like for a young person to buy a house in 2025. What's the difference? Buyers were not competing and blah, 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 blah. Blame the boomers. You didn't have to deal with it. And I said, I'm going to go buy another house for the portfolio tomorrow. Life is great. And this is what was said to me. This guy says, yes, life is great, but you don't flaunt your wealth. And my response to him was, do you see a number anywhere there? And then I thought about it afterwards, even closer, and I want to close with this before she comes on, or they both come on. Why is it okay? And I'm going to pose something to you, and I really want you to delve into it. Why is it okay to scream, bitch, and moan about everything sucking? The economy sucks, gas prices are too high, I can't feed my family, my job sucks. Why is it okay to bitch about everything you feel is wrong? But it's not okay for people to say things are good. So I think that's the enema this country needs to take. I think that's the enema a lot of people on X need to take. And I think it changes people's lives when you realize at this point, glass half full, glass half empty type of thing. Life's good. Why don't we focus on that? That's what I want to begin. That's why I did this show differently today, almost like 2 or 3 different monologues. I got more for you. But why don't we start focusing on what's good? I mean, we're Christians. Robin sent me, she does every single morning. I know I could do it myself, but I love that she sends me Bible verses every single morning. And the Bible verse she sent me today, where is it? Let me get here. And I looked at this and went, this is Philippians 4:4. Even for those of you who may not be Christians, listen to this. Always, not sometimes, not once in a while, I'm guilty of it too. Always be full of joy in the Lord. I say it again, rejoice. And she sent me that this morning. I went, talk about the timeliness of the word. We can choose to engage in grievance. We can choose to engage in rage baiting. Or we can choose to engage in good stuff. I am not, by my definition, rich, but I am never going to hide it, what I feel, what I do, and how I treat Robin and how I treat Ashley. I am going to let my light shine. Because I don't want to be like panicans. I don't want to be like people who feel they have to hide how things really are. Why? Why is it okay to bitch about stuff, but it's not okay to be happy? And that's what we're seeing with so many people. So many people have figured out that it's profitable to be a complainer, a whiner, a finger pointer, instead of just saying, this is great. I didn't mention any numbers in my post. There's no reason to be offended. I don't know why you'd get offended. If somebody said, hey, listen, I just made 90 grand doing X, Y, or Z, I'd be like, hey, awesome, keep going. But people are now conditioning you in a Marxist communist way that the greater good, you can't be happy because all of these people are unhappy and we don't want you happy. I am not going to play that game. And if I've played it before today, I'm like, no more. No more am I going to wake up and wonder, what kind of content are you going to put out today? I don't want to talk about people who are screaming and bitching and moaning. I'd rather show people how to buy a house. I'd rather show people how to become more employable. I'd rather show people how they can look at foreclosures and data and do things. I want to show people how to be more like the president they voted for. It starts with reading his books. Understand, did you notice when he did the Laura Ingraham interview that everybody's bitching about? Did you notice when he was walking, I changed this, I did that, and the detail he was looking at with certain things, and like, you know, we fixed this, we fixed that, and I made this, and I had the guy fly in to do that and everything, because he enjoys it. When he goes to the football games and he talks to people, he enjoys it. He's leading an example. He's leading by example and saying, enjoy life. Yeah, he goes golfing. Good. I hope you go golfing. Right now, you guys might have your way in a chat because SV's not here. SV's in Daytona Beach playing pickleball. Loving it. Great weather. Enjoy your life. And when he comes down here and we go out to lunch or dinner, depending on the timing, we're going to have a great time. We're going to smile. I want you to smile. I want you to be happy. You're going to have to distance yourself from the BS. Don't even bother sharing it. I'm not going to wallow into that. I'm not blaming anybody else for my life. My life is based upon what I do, my decisions, not some black person, white person, Japanese person, politician. I've always said to you guys, doing what I do and how I work in real estate, and some people have said things like, oh, wait till the market turns. You're going to be sorry. I'm like, you have no idea what the F you're talking about. Because when the market turns, you make more. You see, you have to become agnostic to influences and trends. Because I'm not based upon that. I'm based upon what can I do? What's the angle here? What's the deal that we can cut? And accordingly. Now, I'm not saying everybody has to be a real estate investor. I'm not everybody saying anybody has to be a developer. But, you know, one of the things we talked about, and we've been talking about for quite some time, and this isn't even a commercial. This is just me talking. I want to show you this. In the midst of everything else, this is the silver market today. Not today, but this is silver. Let me just make this so you guys can all see it. And there we are. There. This is silver. We're at 53.19 right now for silver. Over the last 5 days, you're up 7.79%. Over the last month, you're up 3%. Up 6 months, you're at 57 friggin' percent. 6 months. I know I've been doing this show for longer than 6 months. 57%. Is that something that we should be hiding or applauding? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, it's boomers. They shut the door behind them. No, I didn't. I've been talking about silver for a year. Been working with Lear Capital. Makes no sense to me. Stop wallowing in the craziness. I mean, even gold is up 28% in the last 6 months, up 55% in the last year. You can choose to whine, or you can choose to make something happen. President Trump and Mrs. Trump are walking in perfectly right now. Let me go ahead and get this settled for you guys so you can see them walk in. And here we go.
Good afternoon. Please. Welcome to the White House. It is truly inspiring to see everyone gather here together, united in support of this remarkable initiative and community. As I stand here and observe the audience, I recognize the vital importance of each one of you to this mission, to our future generations. In particular, I would like to thank the Cabinet Secretaries, Congress members, scholarship donors, and various organizations for their unending advocacy. A special thank you to my husband for his enduring commitment to fostering the future. The President has prioritized America's foster care children, and shortly he will sign our Fostering the Future Executive Order. Too many people from foster care community end up homeless, in danger on America's streets. It was 2021 when I developed the idea to establish an impactful platform with an important mission to provide individuals from the foster care community the ability to secure an entry-level job position and, in turn, financial independence. Fostering the Future, a Be Best initiative, provides individuals from the foster care community with technology-based scholarships to attend colleges and universities throughout America. Fostering the Future sets these individuals on their career paths, but more significantly, it equips each scholarship recipient with a fundamental foundation of knowledge that will endure throughout their lifetimes. Permanency for those who embody the fleeting. I applaud the American universities that have joined my mission, institutions like Vanderbilt University, University of Miami, and Villanova University. Following graduation, scholarship recipients from my program are prepared to enter the workforce and ultimately become leading executives. Predictably, they will manage thousands of employees and generate significant value for American communities through job creation, access to healthcare, food security, and other societal benefits. This executive order, Fostering the Future for American Children and Families, gives me tremendous pride. It is both empathetic and strategic. It will certainly be impactful. It aims to establish a comprehensive network connecting federal departments and agencies, private sector's businesses, higher learning institutions, and charitable organizations. This will create new educational and employment opportunities countrywide. Our faith-based organizations will continue playing a vital and consequential role. My hope, of course, is that this level of coordinated collaboration will sustain. But today, I call on leadership from these various organizations, including the private sector, to join my effort, rise above the ease of inaction. I predict this small spark today will ignite a profound and lasting nationwide movement. Our united resolve will foster a thriving future filled with compassion and innovation. Together, we will illuminate the pathway for today's foster children to become tomorrow's builders. And tomorrow's builders will foster the future of America's legacy. Thank you. It is my pleasure to introduce my husband, the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
I think it's very good, especially for someone that speaks 5 languages at least. I think that's pretty amazing. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Well, thank you, Melania. And our country is truly blessed to have this magnificent and very caring First Lady. They love her. Every time I get up and make a speech, they say, "We want our First Lady." I said, "What the hell? I'm not good enough? I'm not good." But thank you very much. Great job. And it's great the work you do in so many ways. This afternoon, I'm delighted to sign a historic executive order building on the Fostering the Future initiative to make America's foster care system better, fairer, and more effective than ever before, and it's been effective, but it's moving in a very strong direction. All of this has been made possible by Melania's incredible devotion to America's youth. Spends a lot of time on it and loves it, and along with our great Usha, you spend so much time, and what a combination. First Lady, Second Lady, what a combination. Thank you. They do a great job, the two of them. They're amazing women. I want to thank Vice President J.D. Vance and Usha. Thank you very much. Vice President, stand up, Vice President. And he did a big thing today. He's going to be on television tonight with the legendary Sean Hannity, so everybody has to watch. I'm sure CNN loves this advertisement, but he will be. I heard it was a great interview. And Secretaries Scott Bessent. Scott, thank you very much. An extremely non-controversial Secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. But he's right. And Scott Turner, thank you very much. Doing a great job at HELP. And thanks as well to Senator John Husted and Representatives Jason Smith, Darren LaHood, Zach Nunn, and David Schweiker. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, fellas. Great group. We're also joined by countless distinguished leaders in the child welfare advocacy ministry and charitable foundations, as well as so many wonderful young people who have experienced foster care and used their voices to champion needed reforms. And I want to thank everybody for being here. It's an amazing day at the White House. Thank you very much. And right behind me, by the way, in about 2 years from now, we'll use a much bigger room because we had to turn away a lot of people. And it'll be right here. This will be the entrance. That's a knockout paddle. It's called the knockout. It looks pretty nice right now, but it's going to look a lot better in a little while. And we're going to go from this room into a room that seats a few more people, and it's going to be beautiful. But I just noticed I happen to be standing here, Peter, and I thought I might as well get you a shot right now, a nice, beautiful shot at the future entrance to something that's really become very popular, the ballroom. They've wanted it for 150 years, and they're getting it, and they're getting the best. It'll be the best anywhere in the world. Each year, more than 15,000 young people age out of the foster care system, and unfortunately, too many struggle to become self-sufficient. The order I will sign in a few moments will provide vital new resources to help young people transition out of the foster care system and live a very happy and a very successful life, very, very successful. With this order, I'm directing the heads of the key federal departments and agencies to establish a Fostering the Future program in coordination with our wonderful First Lady's office. They're coordinating, and they've already been coordinating for quite some time, and I think I hear it's going really well. You're going to have some, when she gets involved in things, it works, I can tell you that. Under this major new initiative, great American companies and institutions will be signing a pledge to invest in teaching, training, and mentoring America's youth who are transitioning out of the foster care system. This will help provide jobs, education, and personal development opportunities to fantastic young people who truly need and deserve them, and they're going to get them. A terrific example of the impact these programs can have is Eric Alvarez from Omaha, Nebraska, who is with us today. Where's Eric? Where is he? Stand up. Good-looking guy. Good-looking guy. Eric and his siblings were placed in foster care for a year when he was 9. He entered the child welfare system again when he was 15, and today he credits a mentoring and mentorship and work experience program for foster youth with helping him to finish high school and start his adult life. And he did really well in high school, by the way, really a great student, but he starts life on the right foot, right? Wouldn't you say? I mean, I think you better say yes, otherwise I'm in big trouble. Otherwise, I'm all by myself up here, Eric. That would be good. I hear you're doing incredibly. Now, after graduating from the University of Nebraska and interning for Congressman Don Bacon, Eric is pursuing a master's degree at the George Washington University, and he is a cadet in the Air Force ROTC who'll be commissioned as an officer upon graduation. And Eric, I just want to say, great job. You've really been outstanding, and I think that's probably why you were chosen out of so many people. You've done a fantastic job. Congratulations. The new initiative we're establishing will also create an opportunity for foster youth to take full responsibility of the federal tax credit scholarship program established by the One Big Beautiful Bill. So many things, tax cuts and regulation cuts, so many things. The biggest ever passed in the history of our country. I call it the Great Big Beautiful Bill. I changed the name a little bit to make it even more sublime. But it is, there's so many things in there for everybody. We had a choice. We could have done it in 9 different bills or try for the one, and everybody said, no, let's do it in 9. It'll be easier. Actually, it wouldn't have gotten done. And JD and I and Scott and all of us got together and we said, let's give it a shot, and we got it passed. And it was an amazing thing, but it's going to help a lot of people. There's never been anything like it. As in one bill, there's never been anything close. And when you see what's going on with the Democrats, we're lucky we got it passed because we don't have to do anything. All we have to do is implement it now, and we'll be implementing it all over the place. If you think about it, no tax on tips, right? No tax on Social Security, all of the different things, no tax on overtime. You get deductions if you buy a car. You take an interest rate deduction, an interest deduction against your income tax. It's never happened. Nothing like this has really ever been approved to this extent. And so it is one great, big, beautiful bill. But using the tax credit will expand occupational training, education, and financial literacy programs for the foster youth and make it possible for more of them to attend the school of their choice. Choice is a great word for a lot of reasons, but it's a great thing with education. And we'll also create the new Fostering the Future online platform to help young people find the access and really get great housing, very, very important and beautiful housing, health care, and other resources available to foster youth and those transitioning out of foster care. And we think that's going to happen with many, many people, many more than you have right now. Under the Trump administration, we believe that every American child deserves a safe and loving home, and we're determined to support the amazing families who help make that happen. And we have some of those families in the room today, and I just want to thank you all for being in the White House. There is no place like this, and we want to thank you very much for being here. We're great families. Thank you very much. Faith-based, thank you. Faith-based nonprofits are the nation's most trusted institutions, interacting with the foster care system and practicing Christians and more. Think of this, more than twice as likely foster care. They'll adopt the general population. They adopt to it so easily. When they get out, they adopt to it just like it's just becomes second nature. It's amazing. Yet radical left policies in states nationwide make it much harder, not easier, for those families to open up their homes. But we're working on that. We're dealing with the radical left. It's not easy, but we're winning, and we're winning big. That's why with the order that we're doing today, we're taking the ridiculous woke policies that discriminate against Christians and families of faith. As president, I will always stand by us. We will stand by our country, and we will stand for religious liberty. So important. We stand for religious liberty. The Bible tells us, thank you. Thank you. The Bible tells us that one of the measures of any society is how it cares for vulnerable children and orphans. So important, and it's so big in the Bible. So as we make America great again, we are going to protect American children in foster care, and we're going to ensure that they will never, ever be forgotten. These children will never be forgotten, and they're going to grow up to be unbelievable, strong, smart, wealthy, productive citizens. So once more, I want to thank Melania for the great job she does, not here only just as First Lady. She's a great First Lady, and I want to thank you very much, honey, and the foster families and leaders here today. You're very special people, and we're going to work together, and we're going to have some absolutely incredible results. Thank you all for being here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Too late to change him. Should we sign it? All right. Susie, do we sign this? Good now. Ask the First Lady to sign this. Let me sign it right there. Okay.
What a good ceremony to talk about something that's really important. These foster care children who age out of the system and then have no place to go. Absolutely awesome. All right, so let me continue. Excuse me. As President Trump mentioned, J.D. Vance, I couldn't figure out which show it was. J.D. Vance is going to be on Sean Hannity. Those of you guys know, Sean Hannity doesn't come on until 9 p.m. It's Laura, then it's Jesse, then it's Hannity at 9 p.m. So I'll probably do a night show, let's say 8:30ish or so I'll go on, and that way we can catch J.D. Vance on Hannity tonight at 9. So 8:30 tonight, we'll do the second show. All right, so back to what I was saying. And I got just a perfect example for you. It couldn't have been more timely and more perfect if I had scheduled it myself. All right, so while he was talking, this came out, and this is simply amazing, and it's going to show you why you've got to get away from the rage baiters. Breaking. In an incredible moment, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem unveils $10,000 bonus checks. $10,000 bonus checks for TSA agents who worked during the Schumer shutdown. Now that's how you treat the patriots who run our country. One of them even took on extra shifts to make sure everyone could travel. And another one had to postpone her move when the paycheck stopped. But now I'm hopeful she will be able to go and purchase that home soon, now that this bonus check will be helpful to her and her family. So Kristi Noem made that announcement. I want to show that to you right now.
But we will be looking at every single TSA official that helped serve during this government shutdown and do what we can to recognize that and help them financially with a bonus check to get them and their family back on their feet. So with that, Rico, I want to present to you a check and say thank you from the American people. Appreciate it. Ashley, thank you. Yes. And is Leo here? All right, Leo.
How amazing is this? As you look at the crowd of people here, it's pretty much probably a good bet that not every single one of these people are MAGA or Republicans, just by the group of people, the diversity. And each one of them is getting a $10,000 check. $10,000 check. How could you possibly have a problem with these people who worked when they didn't have to work? They were not getting paid, and they're getting, besides their back pay, they're bonusing these people who went over and above. You know, when we're talking merit and performance, and why you reward merit and performance is because you want outstanding employees. You want people who are going to go over and above, not just take a paycheck, not just show up, not just do all kinds of crazy things. You want good employees. You want to be able to retain good employees. If you own a business, those are the type of people you want. Hey, can you stay a little bit later today? I need you. Oh, no, I got to check out. I only work 9 to 5. Because they didn't remember. They didn't know they were getting a bonus. They knew they'd get their back pay. They didn't know they were getting a $10,000 bonus. And you would think on X, people would be extremely happy for these people. They would be rejoicing that people got bonuses for meritorious performance. But then you'd be wrong, because there's too much money in being a grievance merchant. I wouldn't normally call this out, but I got to. I have to, because I said, oh my God, sorry, please help these people. And please help you from understanding what's going on out there. All right, so you just saw these people all get $10,000 checks. No sooner did they get their $10,000 checks as a $10,000 bonus for TSA workers who vote Democrat after the shutdown is over. That strikes me as a waste of money. How about $10,000 bonuses for married private sector workers 18 to 49 who have a sufficient credit score to buy a home instead? Backstop first-time FHA like VA loans too. You conflated one thing with your ongoing argument to hate Trump. What does one have to do with the other? Perhaps that should be deleted. How about maybe, good job, congratulations. Wow, it's awesome that you received a bonus. You did more. You went well above being an employee. Thank you for being there. Thank you for taking that time at whatever airport you were at. Thank you for standing up for America. Nope. That's not what was said by one of the main panicans out there. Strikes me as a waste of money. You know, I hope when you are done watching today's show that you understand there are people out there who are doing nothing but trying to drum up pain. And there are people out there who have hidden agendas. I don't know what their agendas are. I know that X doesn't pay you a whole lot of money, so it's not that. What exactly is it that every single thing, handing somebody a $10,000 check, is something to denigrate, something to attack? I was looking in the chat and I was seeing, what were you guys saying about it? And you guys were like, oh man, this is a blessing. It's fantastic. I would never have thought to look at the chat and see people going, what in the hell? You don't give people like that money. It's a whole different issue. If you want something to do with real estate, go ahead and do it for your first time home buyer quest, because you know there's going to be a bunch of 18 to 29 somethings that are following you going, yeah, I can't buy a home. We have to, as a group, as a nation, to stop profiting in rage, to stop profiting in trying to drum up grievances. What? My mic's on. What's going on here? Let me see who this is, because I'm getting text. Sometimes it's Ashley. Hold on. What's she saying here? 1 second. 1 second, people. Okay. Why? Why do they do it? And it's influencing, influencers, it's influencing a lot of people. There may be groups of people collectively trying to do this, doing nothing but try to say everything is bad. When I read the tweet, and one of the things that I look at here real quickly, a $10K bonus for TSA workers who vote Democrat, you don't know that. You don't know that. That strikes me as a waste of money. Why? Why would you not reward meritorious performance? Why is it bad to reward people who go over and above when there's so many damn slackers in this country? These people worked without getting paid. These people aren't the welfare queens who are screaming, I best have my money. I need to go. I'm going to steal stuff out and get my money. No, they went to work every single day so people could fly. You're picking on the wrong people. How about 10K bonuses for married private sector workers 18 to 49? Well, he's telling you who he's trying to reach. And so as you're sitting back and you're perusing X and you're seeing different things happen, understand there's a reason. Well, Barry, you're doing the same thing. You're courting Trump voters, 100%. I am courting Trump voters, but I'm not giving you misinformation, disinformation. I'm not rage baiting. And on top of it all, I'm not a grievance merchant. I'm like, this is fantastic to these people. I am so happy for them. How could you not be? Let me show you something else, because he obviously didn't see this, what Eric had posted. In an incredible moment, yeah, she gave out the $10,000. Now that's how you treat the patriots who run our country. Another had to postpone her move when the paycheck stopped. I hope she will be able to go and purchase that home soon, now that this bonus check will be helpful to her and her family. I don't think Rich heard that it was to help somebody buy a home. Otherwise, he would have realized it right then and there, that was made to help her go buy a home. Now, I don't want to beat the real estate thing to death, but I got a problem with it because I know it. I'm in it. This was posted, and I thought to myself, do I want to go after and say things about other podcasters because they could say stuff about me? I don't worry about that. I don't care. What I care about is you understanding there's some crazy influencing going on out there where everything's bad, everything's a grievance, everything is wrong, and they're doing things to people, to their minds, to get them to act a certain way. And it's just wrong. It's absolutely wrong. I mean, this post came out this morning, and it's a video with Benny and Byron Donalds. And it said, I asked Florida's next governor, which you have no idea if he's Florida's next governor, Byron Donalds, how he would tackle the housing crisis facing young Americans. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about this from somebody who actually is in the housing market versus somebody just reading this tweet. One, lower construction costs, cut regulatory red tape, streamline access to raw materials, reform NEPA to make building homes easier. NEPA is the environmental protection, all that crap. So I'm going to tell you, that was the 4 clear steps. Number 1, lower construction costs by doing those things. So you're not talking about doing anything to help these people who want to get into homes anytime soon. See, because you're not going to be able to do all of that next week. I can show somebody how to get into a house next week. This is a pipe dream. Number 2, stop forcing green mandates. Green mandates require inflated construction and purchase prices. Where? Where are these green mandates that are inflating construction and purchase prices? I don't know. But in any event, how are you going to change that if it's a law? Again, that's not something that's going to help somebody next week or next month. That's just politician speak. Number 3, overhaul permitting. Permitting delays drive costs through the roof. I got a secret. Most first-time home buyers ain't looking to buy houses that they need permits on. Missing this completely. Missing it. A first-time home buyer is hoping to get into a house at a decent rate, at a decent price, at a decent monthly payment, where they don't got to go in and start swinging hammers and get permits for stuff. When I hear permits, I think roof. When I hear permits, I think of a lot of stuff, a new kitchen, all this kind of crap, which is way more advanced for the average first-time home buyer. See, these are the questions I would have asked him. Byron, what are you talking about, bro? Well, you know, I think what we can do is we can overhaul the permitting process that delays and drives costs through the roof. What permitting costs are most first-time home buyers going to encounter? What? I said, what permitting costs are the average first-time home buyer going to encounter? You don't want me asking those questions, huh? All right, okay. Number 4, this one was great. Build dense entry-level housing focusing on affordable, accessible homes for first-time buyers. Okay, so unless you're looking at something like Levittown, dense, when I think density, I'm telling you right now, there are people in neighborhoods throughout South Florida, when they hear politicians talking about removing density requirements, Biden talked about removing density requirements. They wanted to put a duplex, quadplex, or an 8-unit or 10-unit building across from you in your subdivision. Ain't nobody looking for that. And on top of that, is that going to help anybody buy a house next month? Nope. Nope. Build dense entry-level housing. Byron, what's the average price per square foot for a home in Florida? And I'm saying Florida because he wants to be the governor. What's the average price per square foot to build a new home in Dade County, Palm Beach County, Broward County, Orange County? What's the price per square foot? And some of you guys probably like, what do you mean? Well, every square foot that you build has a price to it. And there's an estimate on what the price per square foot per county is. So if you're going to build a first-time type of home, and it's probably going to be in the neighborhood of 1,200 or 1,500 square feet, what's your average price per square foot? So some of you guys are right now looking, oh, hey, what's the price per square foot in my area? Well, down here, you're lucky. And I mean lucky if you can build a home for $150 to $165 a square foot. Do the math. It ain't the price per square foot, bro. That's not what's going to make it easier for people to buy homes. And so I looked at this not from a denigrating somebody, but I'm looking at it from a perspective of One or both have no freaking idea what they're talking about. And Byron says, we have to build a lot of homes in our country. The solution is not rent control. I agree with that. That's the Democrat playbook. It doesn't work, only leads to higher prices for everyone. When you have people saying no more growth, no more construction, you are actually driving up prices for young people trying to get in the game. I don't know who's saying no growth, but you're not answering the base question. If it's 150 to 165, 170 per square foot to build a low-level home, I'm not even talking with chandeliers. I'm not, no, we're talking about linoleum floors and Home Depot cabinets and, here you go. Here's your starter home. And what's it going to cost? Oh, by the way, where are you going to build it? In the Everglades? Nobody's asking the questions. Hey, Byron, I like that idea. Where are you going to build it? Well, it's easy to make the discussion when you don't know the questions to ask and the people watching don't have any idea that they're being bamboozled. So here was my response to those four things, and I wrote this. Do none of these people, and I'm not talking about one or two that just said that, do none of the people who are talking about first-time homebuyers, boomers suck. Do none of these people have any clue about real estate? Nothing Byron Donalds mentioned will help anyone get a home for years. Who knows? He may not even be in office. Trump may not even be in office. Republicans may not be in office. Please stop with this unadulterated BS. By the way, I like Byron Donalds, which I do, but come on, man. These sound bites make experienced people laugh. They do. The entire campaign of people trying to say we got to put people in these houses that they're not qualified is dog crap. And I showed you that from the beginning, that the foreclosures are already starting and ramping up. Did Byron not know that? Did Byron Donalds not know that the foreclosures in Florida are ramping up to the point where there's 32%, 20%, crazy numbers? There's an easy way to incentivize housing, and yet people are acting like there isn't already a solution. 100% true. What the heck is wrong with these people? Any person at any age with a viable job history and decent credit can buy a house, period. For some reason, the Panikins and everybody on X that's talking about these first-time home stuff and boomers suck and boomers shut the door behind them, I got a big-ass door to show you. It's not closed. I have a giant door you can walk your behind in, and you can buy a first-time home. Well, you don't have to be first-time. You can buy a home, enjoy the benefits of home ownership if you got a couple things. You got to have a viable job history, and you got to have decent credit. And then even then, you're still going to need a minimal down payment. And if you don't have any of that, then we are looking at 2008 all over again. You saw the movie, and that was a couple days ago, and things are continuing, and they're pushing people to be mirror foggers. Hey, we'll get you in your first time home. We'll get you in. We're going to remove credit scores. And I'm thinking, do you guys not have any idea what the vital signs are right now? Do you have any idea what it will do to the communities that you want to stick these people in if they are not prepared? How about this instead? You want to be a first-time home buyer? Make sure you're at your job for 12 to 24 months. Go get a job. Number 2, take out a gas card. A gas card or a Macy's card. Something really nominal. Pay that for 12 to 18 months. Let everybody know, okay, Joe's got his stuff together. He's got a job for 12 months. And yeah, he's got a credit card. And he's paid his credit card for 12 months. Good. And over that 12 months, Joe, how much did you save? Well, I was able to put $3,500 away, not a whole lot. Okay, so Joe's got $3,500. He's got a 12 to 18 month job history, and he's got decent credit. What's the problem? What is the problem? The problem is people are advocating to destroy the economy. I don't care how you look at it. I don't care how you strike it. That's exactly what's being advocated. You can blame and point fingers all you want at boomers or everybody else except at the person. Simple question. You talk to anybody online. Hey, listen, hey, I can help you buy a house. I know this guy who can help you buy a house. You got a job? No? Oh. You got a decent credit score? Have you ever pulled credit? Do you even have a credit card anywhere? No. You got any money saved up? No. What the hell are we talking about? We're talking about people on X who are bottom of the barrel, maybe good people, bottom of the barrel financially, and we're trying to force them into the housing market. And so what I'm saying is every one of these influencers who are talking have no idea what the F they're talking about. They're not in the business. They don't understand. They're not getting it. These people have to be trained to be homeowners. Why aren't we doing that? The same thing with the H-1B visas and things of that nature, where you want someone to be able to do a rivet 6 months down the road. Well, today, they need to be getting the tools and understanding how to do the job. Right now, these kids, the ones that you want to put in homes, should be in homebuyer training. Tell them what they need to do to be viable come June. June is not far away. It's little over 6-7 months. Hey, Johnny, here's what we're going to get you in a home in June. I'm not going to just start posting crazy shit on X. I'm going to tell you, do this, and do this. And that's how you help somebody get into a home. Just talking about it with politicians, you're wasting your breath and you're insulting people who know otherwise. Mark my words, this has been going on for about 3 weeks now. The longer it goes, you're going to begin seeing. They're not telling anybody anything. They're bitching. They're blaming boomers. They want people to think we are the problem. I'm telling you right now, I will tell you how to do it. I will show you what you need to do. And it's not posting on X. It's absurd where this country is right now because people aren't getting it. I don't know, people get mad at me for trying to tell them the right thing, but you ain't got to listen to me. There's a lot of people who know what the hell they're doing in regards to the entire thing with the market. And now that you know that foreclosures are on the rise, why the hell would you want to put gas on top of that fire? Because you want to see a certain person get elected? Because that's what it's all about. And I told you that a couple weeks ago. You're going to see people as we get into the first of the year, as they're going to be doing things for campaign reasons. They don't give a crap about Trump. Now, hey, this is my boy. This is the guy I want to be governor. I'm going to bring him on, and we're going to keep talking, and we're going to show this. We're going to get him elected. Now I have the governor on speed dial. It's not about MAGA anymore. MAGA is going to fracture as long as we get these influencers who are questioning anything. When this is what people are saying, they've already tell you, we're not MAGA. No, we're not make America great again. I got somebody I'm backing. I know where I'm headed after January. Just watch. Just watch. I'll be right back.
Welcome back to Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
Hey everybody, Patriot Addict, one of our great sponsors here, is back with another great offer for you. It's a Trump Collector's Bundle that they have named the Berry Pack. This Berry Pack is the ultimate Trump collection. It features the Trump 4547 hat, which I just happen to have right here. The Trump 4547 hat. That's what you get as part of the Berry Pack, Trump 4547 hat. In addition, you get the Trump 2024 flag that's been selling out nationwide. I want you to take a look at this flag. It's awesome. Let's go ahead and put it aside so you guys can see it. We use it sometimes out in the yard. Lots of friends put it on their boat. The President Trump 2024 flag, Make America Great Again. That's part of the Berry Pack. What else do you get? Well, in addition to the hat and the flag, you also get the Trump blanket. We were showing these a while back, but it was too warm. It was summertime. Now that we're here in the fall and headed to winter and here in the holiday season, here is the Trump blanket. It's huge. It's warm, it's big, it's perfect for a tailgate, perfect for a hayride, or just hanging out back on the porch next to your fire pit. In addition, okay, keep realizing what we got here. We have the Trump hat, we have the Trump flag, we have the Trump blanket, but now you also get the Trump red knife. The Trump red knife, which I've shown you many times. You get this Trump red knife. Let's look at it. It's sharp. It's got the window breaker. It's got the seatbelt cutter. Very sharp. It's assisted opening. Good weight. Great knife. Great knife. Many people here in Fanfare have gotten this knife. So now let's recap again. You get the hat. You get the blanket. You get the flag. You get the Trump red knife. But if you order the Berry Pack, which comes with no shipping charges or hidden fees, on this knife, all these 4 items would normally cost $238, but they're practically giving it away to our viewers for just $69. And just be aware, prices have already gone up, so I strongly recommend you take action now. They set aside just 500 Berry Packs for Fanfare, and they're already down to the last few, and I can't guarantee this collection will ever be available again. So scan the QR code right over here or visit berrypack.com. berrypack.com to claim yours before they disappear forever. That's berrypack.com, or scan the QR code now. And just to remind you, it's the hat, it's the red knife, it's the blanket. Let me make sure it's open. It's the blanket, very nice blanket, and it's the flag. Where's the flag? Yeah, all of this. Just go to berrypack.com. You want to put that on your stoop, or on your boat, or on your pickup truck. It's a full collector's pack. So go to berrypack.com or click the QR code on the screen right now and get yours. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I remember the song by Jay-Z, yeah, It's a Hard Knock Life. I get these kind of comments. Ashley tells me, don't take it, but sometimes these people step right into it. When did this channel become a real estate channel? It's not a real estate channel, moron. It is a channel about America. It is a channel about Donald Trump. It is a channel about what's going on in this country. It is a channel about news that is happening relative to America. If you haven't paid any attention lately, everybody's talking about first-time home buyers. If you haven't paid any attention lately, President Trump posted something last week about doing 50-year mortgages, and Bill Pulte said that. If you haven't been paying attention, it backfired unbelievably, and people started getting pissed off. If you haven't been paying attention, it was covered in just about every one of the networks as they used it as a cudgel to beat President Trump down. At least try to pay attention to hell what's going on in this country. Man. Somebody says it's a pro-pedophile channel. Hold on, let me see if I can find you. See, SV's not here. You're lucky. You would have already been gone. Let me see if I can find him. Hold on a second. I got to get this dude.
It's genius. It's pure genius. America is the country that started the AI race. And as President of the United States, I'm here today to declare that America is going to win it. We're going to work hard. We're going to win it.
Why do so many financial experts call silver the most undervalued asset today? Because silver is essential to the future, from solar tech and electric vehicles to the explosive growth of artificial intelligence. Demand is rising fast, and yet silver is still trading at a bargain. With billions pouring into AI, silver prices have only one place to go, and that's up. In fact, silver may be the most overlooked asset class in financial planning. The opportunity for silver is well documented. The market for silver could double or even triple by 2026. You see, I believe in hard assets like this bar of silver. You can hold it in your hand, you can put it in your IRA, you can put it in your home safe, and relative to gold, it's very affordable. That's why I urge you to call my friends at Lear Capital and get their free report, The AI Revolution, and see why silver prices could be set to soar. Call 800-601-5430 or go to learberry.com. But don't wait. We all know. We've seen it. The government can print lots and lots of dollars, but they can't print silver. I'm sorry. I had to go stop somebody out because that's just wrong. Somebody asked, Barry, what is a mirror fogger? Somebody who can just breathe into a mirror, and they were getting mortgages back in the day. Wow. Wow. I appreciate you sharing your knowledge on real estate, Barry. All right, so let me get away from real estate for a second, not because I'm chased away, but I have something else I wanted to show you. And this is pretty important as well. Last night, an individual attempted to confront one of our U.S. attorneys, my dear friend Alina Habba, destroyed property in her office, and then fled the scene. Thankfully, Alina is okay. Any violence or threats of violence against any federal officer will not be tolerated. This is unfortunately becoming a trend as radicals continue to attack law enforcement agents around the country. She went on to say, we will find this person and the individual will be brought to justice. Our federal prosecutors, agents, and law enforcement partners put their lives on the line every day to protect the American people, and this department will use every legal tool available to ensure their safety and hold violent offenders fully accountable. This is what the left is doing, and unfortunately I feel some people on the right are doing it as well. You are going to see in the very near future some boomers being accosted, some boomers being assaulted, because when you keep blaming people's situation in life on a boomer, what do you think people are going to do? Hey, those are the people that are causing my problems. Just like Alina Habba, who just happens to be an attorney working for the Trump Justice Administration, she got attacked merely because of her alignment. People have lost their minds, and I cannot believe at this point that people who were supposedly on the right, who were supposedly right-leaning influencers, are putting people in danger. I don't personally feel in danger, but I do know if you keep pointing fingers at successful, accomplished boomers, you're putting targets on their backs. When the boomer shows up with a Mercedes or a Cybertruck or a BMW or a Porsche, and they're at the light, and it's some guy getting off the golf course, you're saying and you're telling everybody, that dude right there in the Porsche who just got off the golf club is why you can't get a house. Excuse me. This isn't a real estate show, it's a reality show. That's what you're doing. If you start telling people that that person over there is why you can't get ahead, them effing people, When SB gets down here, I'm going to show him some things, and we're going to go to a restaurant, take him to like a waterfront restaurant, dockside restaurant, where we can watch the yachts go by. And I'm going to talk to him like, you see the people driving those boats up and down the intercoastal? Yeah. Most of them are boomers. Those are the people who they are saying is at fault for your life. Your lousy life where you can't buy a house is because the boomer shut the door behind you. And that's when people start taking pot shots and doing all kinds of crazy things. So I don't know if that's what they meant to do. All I do know is that by pointing fingers at people and saying they are responsible for your miserable life, there's something wrong with that. It needs to stop, and it needs to stop now. You know who they are. You see them all over the place. If you put like that boomer housing, it'll pop up all over X. It is now a disease. It is toxic. What is going on? Crazy. This story. Breaking, it is now official. Trump administration has designated Antifa groups as foreign terrorist organizations. Now they can bring the full force of the federal government against them. The United States will continue using all available tools to protect our nation from these anti-American, anti-capitalist, and anti-Christian terrorist groups, says Marco Rubio. So that is huge. Now, I thought they were already labeled a terrorist group, but now that they officially are a terrorist group, now they can't hide. Gavin Newsom can't stop President Trump from going in. People in Portland can't stop President Trump from going after this group at this point. You're a terrorist on American soil. Good luck with that. Love it. Go for it. Absolutely go for it. What else did I want to show you? All right, so I'm going to close with this. It's not real estate. It's rage baiting. I'm going to simply put this bluntly. Love this. You idiots on the conservative right are agitating like a bunch of braying asses for the release of those files. Might as well re-register as Democrats. Great opening statement. Look what the Democrats did yesterday. They released emails and then blatantly lied about the contents of those very same emails. Suddenly, these people are paragons of truth. I thought that to be the funniest thing about this, that these are the lowest level humans you can find, and all of a sudden they were paragons of truth. Thank you for that word. But the Dems released the emails, claiming that Trump had some untoward interaction, even though she testified in a deposition under oath that she had no involvement with Trump. It was all a ruse. I'm going to skip down because I'm not doing anything about these files. And then it goes right here. You idiots demanding this will only perpetuate the fiction. Bingo. And they will only serve to separate you from MAGA. And that's what they're trying to do. They don't give a crap about kids. They never given a crap about these kids. It was a joke to them. It's merely another arrow in their quiver that they can try and shoot at Trump and MAGA. And if by now they haven't realized it, it ain't gonna work. That's why it doesn't deserve to air in terms of talking about it. You'll get trolls in here who will talk about it left and right because they need to. They need to breathe life into a boogeyman. Without a boogeyman, the left doesn't exist. Everything the left does tells you it's somebody else's fault. You can't get food stamps, it's Trump's fault. You can't put gas in your car, it's Trump's fault. Your baby daddy ain't doing something, don't worry, it's Trump's fault. I personally, for one, am over it. Completely over it. And I'm going to give you a tip here in closing, and I'll take some comments here in a second. I mentioned earlier, I told some people how you can coordinate the content that you want to see on X. And I think maybe I'll do not a Zoom, but a screencast so I can show you. And I know some of you don't pay for X, and that's fine. But those of you who do have an X subscription, you can go into the back end and you can look at something called X Pro. Well, Barry, what the hell is X Pro? See, X Pro is worth the price of the subscription as is. X Pro allows you to have a completely curated feed. Like I pull feeds in from different places for video. You can say, I just want to see feeds from Greg Gutfeld, Barry Cunningham, President Trump, Melania Trump, Caroline Leavitt, Stephen Miller. You can pick the people only, and you will only see those posts. It's amazing. If you guys want me to do a instructional video on it, let me know in the chat. I'll look at that after the show's over, and if you want, I'll do that. Because that way, you never see all the crap. You don't even have to waste time thinking, oh, I got to keep scrolling. No, I don't care about follows and unfollows. They don't mean anything to me. When I go into my X Pro account, I'm only seeing the content from the people I choose to receive the content from. I don't know who's that. Why are you calling me? And it's a fantastic tool. And you can say, like what I do, I only want to see people who do the videos. I only want to see people who post pictures. There's all kinds of different things that you can do, but they're only going to be from people you'd like to hear from. And you can you ever notice, here, let me show you this. You ever notice that oftentimes SV or we post a lot from Nick Sortor or Eric Doherty? It's because they're in my feed. They're the ones I trust. If they do something I don't trust, then I remove them from the feed. But I know these guys sit there all day long, and they do nothing but curate news. And so I know if I click on Nick's profile and refresh, there's got to be something that might be newsworthy. Here, let me give you an idea. This is Nick's profile, and 36 seconds ago he got a picture of an impromptu video of President Trump and Melania, either before or after they did the event, and they're listening to the White House band, Marine band, play. And it just, you don't see this on the news. You won't see this anywhere unless you're following people who are giving you this kind of content. Let me see if I can hear what the song is. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Let me download it real quick. Let me download it so you guys can hear it. It's a pretty cool video. And they're just sitting there loving it. They're sitting there listening to the music, and you don't see this on the media. They just won't show it to people. Pretty cool. 1 second. Let me bring this into the platform, and you guys can hear it. Okay. See, the media doesn't want you seeing that. They don't want anybody seeing him personalized like that. Him and his wife hugging on him. They don't want you to see that. They don't want you to believe he's that kind of guy. And so I'll show you, if you guys want me. I'll do an X Pro screencast so you can see how easy it is to create a list of people that you trust, that you're like, I only want to hear it from these people. If you want to put John Solomon on it, if you want to put, I don't know, Catherine Herridge, who I like, I put her on my list. But as you get to see people, like, I want to hear everything that this person has to say. And when you open it up, it populates just with those people. That's it. Let's see here. Yep, we talked about John Fetterman earlier. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Let's see here. Boomers did not, where is it? Boomers did not have things given to them. They had to work for it. Younger people need to learn that also. Yeah, there we go. That's it, exactly. Dancing while my machine needs my dough. Oh my God, you guys are funny. Maybe that $10,000 would cure any of them that have Trump derangement syndrome. Exactly. Patty, I'm a boomer. You're a boomer. Wouldn't you like to be a boomer too? Absolutely. No, he didn't have a heart attack. No, did that say that? He had a what do you call it? atrial defibrillation. That's what it's called. Let's see here. A beautiful couple in the White House that love each other. Yeah, I love that. All right, so I'll see you guys tonight. I love this one. These kids were indoctrinated to be entitled to everything. Exactly. I'm going to do super chats, but before I get there, I want to go ahead and just let you guys know that tonight J.D. Vance is on Hannity, and so we'll cover that. Wait a second. You know what? 31% of people have not seen President Trump from last night. Oh, I forgot to show that to you. So let's talk about that real quick. I posted this as my thumbnail for today's show. And I put that up because I saw something last night that probably many of you saw as well. And with everything swirling around him, with everything happening, that man didn't look troubled. He didn't look in fear. Last night when he was signing the reopening of the government, he looked ready to do battle. And I want to show this to you. Those of you who have seen it, just watch his face here. This is something I wanted to open the show early with, but it's only like 9 minutes.
Of the United States in an attempt to extort American taxpayers for hundreds of billions of dollars for illegal aliens and people that came into our country illegally, from gangs, from prisons, from mental institutions. They wanted to pay them $1.5 trillion, which would have really hurt our healthcare businesses and our recipients at levels never seen before. Today, we're sending a clear message that we will never give in to extortion, because that's what it was. They tried to extort. The Democrats tried to extort our country. In just a moment, I'll sign a bill exactly like we asked Democrats to send us all along, many days ago. This cost the country $1.5 trillion, this little excursion that they took us on. Republicans never wanted a shutdown and voted 15 times for a clean continuation of funding. There's never been a time when one or the other party ever didn't sign a continuation. It's just a continuation, not a big deal. It's a continuation, and we'll talk later. Yet the extremists in the other party insisted on creating the longest government shutdown in American history, and they did it purely for political reasons. I want to thank Speaker Mike Johnson, Senate Majority Leader John Thune, as well as House Majority Leader Steve Scalise, Majority Whip Tom Emmer, and numerous other great Republican leaders and congressmen and senators who are here and frankly spent a long time in Washington getting this thing to go away. I also want to thank the broad coalition of Americans that stood with us in this fight to reopen government, including the Teamsters, the American Federation of Government Employees, the Fraternal Order of Police, AMVETS, the National Small Business Association, the American Farm Bureau, the American Trucking Association. These are all incredible patriots. The Airlines for America, the Allied Pilots Association, the National Air Traffic Controllers Association, and many others, unions and non-unions. Over the past 7 weeks, the Democrats' shutdown has inflicted massive harm. They caused 20,000 flights to be canceled or delayed. They departed so many times, so late. People were hurt so badly. Nobody's ever seen anything like this one. This was a no-brainer. This was an easy extension. But they didn't want to do it the easy way. They had to do it the hard way. And they look very bad, the Democrats do. They deprived more than 1 million government workers from their paychecks and cut off food stamp benefits for millions and millions more Americans in need. They caused tens of thousands of federal contractors and small businesses to go unpaid, and the total effect of the damage their antics caused will take weeks and probably months to really calculate accurately, including the serious harm that they did to our economy and to people and to families. So I just want to tell the American people, you should not forget this. When we come up to midterms and other things, don't forget what they've done to our country. I also want to call for a termination to the filibuster so that this can never happen again. If we had the filibuster terminated, this would never happen again. And don't forget, we have another date coming up in the not too distant future. We can never let this happen again, and we should be able to pass really great legislation. So I say terminate the filibuster because, by the way, the Democrats will do it immediately if they ever assumed office, which hopefully they won't. Today we had the highest stock market price ever in all of the different markets. We set a record. It's the 48th time in the 9 months that I've been in office that we had this record set. So think of that, 48 times we had a record set, but today is the highest of them all. We're going to break new grounds. Nobody would have thought. I have with us not only the great political leaders, but the great business leaders of our country. They're standing right behind me and right really alongside of me. And if we would have told them a year ago that we'd be having stock prices this high, none of them, in fact, I just asked them that question, none of them would have believed it. And that inures to jobs and, very importantly, to 401ks, which have also set a record today, a record high for the people that have 401ks. And also, I want to thank Walmart because they came up with a fantastic study. It was the cost of Thanksgiving coming up and the cost of Thanksgiving from a year ago under Sleepy Joe Biden, and we're 25% lower this year than we were a year ago. And it's a very inclusive report, so I want to thank Walmart.
So I wanted to jump in because what I found interesting is that the government opens up, and President Trump makes this speech last night at about 10 o'clock at night saying we're open. He's openly defiant. He's very confident. This is what's going to happen. The reason I wanted to cover it this morning is because he was talking about the stock market being at a peak and how things are going great. And the stock market today fell as of right now, 800 points. It completely crapped the bed today. And a lot of people are going to look at this and go, oh, things are bad. This is obviously people taking profit, doing everything they can because they had ideas what was going to happen, that the government may not have been reopened, and now, very first day, it drops 800 points to try and embarrass this guy yet again. And watch, today's Thursday, it'll probably drop some more, and then Monday, you buy the dip, baby, buy that dip.
For many years, but we believe in that, and we believe in that company. I want to also thank the 8 Senate Democrats who finally did the right thing in voting to end this craziness, this madness, but unfortunately the vast majority of congressional Democrats were happy for millions of Americans to suffer. They really did suffer too. And the Democrats admitted, they said, well, no, we finally have a point. Even though people have to suffer, we finally have a point, and that didn't work out too well for them. But they really went out and they could appease the fringe benefits of their far-left base, but that didn't work out because now their far-left base is angrier than ever before. We actually elected a mayor of New York City who happens to be a communist. When was that going to happen? Remember, I said all the time during my campaign, we will never be a socialist country, and that's right. We turned out to have a communist in New York City, and if you look at his views, those are the views of a communist, not a socialist. So this is no way to run a country. I hope we can all agree that the government should never be shut down again, end the filibuster, terminate the filibuster. It'll never happen again. So with my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operation.
That's what I think freaked out people. He's still going for the filibuster. He still wants to filibuster. And by the way, just so you know, in case no one's told you, this thing is only for 30 days. This is only going to go to like mid-January. They're going to have to do the entire dance all over again. So they didn't get their subsidies. Stock market crashed. They reopened and they did not get their gazillions dollars of Obamacare money. Market crashes.
And my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living, restore public safety, grow our economy, and make America affordable again for all Americans. Again, costs are way down. Energy is way down. Gasoline is at $2.50 a gallon. versus $4.70 for the Democrats. And we think we're going to hit pretty close to $2 a gallon. That's like a really massive tax cut. It's the equivalent of that. And speaking of tax cuts, our great, big, beautiful bill is giving everybody in our economy, middle income workers, low income, everybody, the biggest tax cut in the history of our country. And it's no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and very importantly, no tax on overtime. You work overtime, there's no tax. That's among the things that add up to the biggest tax cut in history. And one other thing, you hear about rich people with deductions. Well, when you buy your car and you borrow money, you're allowed to now deduct the interest on that loan. So you can take that interest deduction and what you can take is that interest payment and deduct it for income tax purposes. That's a tremendous tax cut right there. But it all includes fixing the healthcare system that Democrats broke with the disaster known as Obamacare. Obamacare was a disaster from day one. It's done nothing but go up. And if you remember President Barack Hussein Obama, when he came up with this crazy idea, he said everything's going to be great. Rates are going to go down. Payments are going to go down. Everything's going to go down. It went the exact opposite, with the biggest increase of healthcare in any country. It's a disaster. And I'm calling today for insurance companies not to be paid, but for the money, this massive amount of money, to be paid directly to the people of our country so that they can buy their own health care, which will be far better and far less expensive than...
All right, so right there, this defiant attitude that he had all about this government reopening, and one of those targets is, I'm calling right now for the insurance companies not to get these billions and billions of dollars, but rather go into a health savings account with each individual being able to pick their own insurance. This morning, you could have called that last night, that these people were going to freak out. Absolutely, completely freak out. What do you mean we're not getting billions of guaranteed dollars from the government anymore? You're going to take our money, Donnie?
The disaster known as Obamacare, and I've had, I think, great support. I've even had Democrat support. So we want the money that would be going to the insurance company, which is hundreds of billions of dollars. Their stock prices have gone up by 1,000% in many cases, 1,000% over a short period of time, because our country stupidly pays them so much money with this Obamacare scandal. So I want the money to go directly to you, the people. And you go out and you'll buy your own health insurance and you'll negotiate different plans and you'll get much better insurance and you will be an entrepreneur for yourself.
Huh? You'll be an entrepreneur for yourself. See, right there, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to show this, because so many people are wondering, what am I going to do? The deck is stacked against me. And he just told you. And so when the other guy said, is this a real estate show? I just happen to be an entrepreneur in real estate. I don't care if you bake cookies. At this point, he wants this country for you to seize opportunity. Whatever that opportunity may be, instead of whining and going, it's boomers' fault. Now you get to have an entrepreneurial mindset and get your own insurance. So of course the market was going to crash today.
So I'm always willing to work with anyone, including the other party. We'll work on something having to do with health care. We can do a lot better. We can do great. So much money is involved, and we're willing to pay so much money to the people. So we're going to pay a lot of money to the people. They're going to go out and buy their own health care, and we're going to forget this Obamacare madness. So with all...
See, I was wondering, even last night, I'm like to myself, are people listening to what he's saying? Do you realize right now, at 10 o'clock last night when he was saying this, there were people in boardrooms or maybe even at home who had to change their diapers. They went, oh my God, what is this man talking about? He's going to gut the insurance business. Just let that sink in. With fire and passion in his face. No fear whatsoever. Didn't even look like he was backing down. I'm going to get the filibuster and I'm going to destroy all these Obamacare leeches. And I don't know if you caught that last night.
That, I just want to tell you the country has never been in better shape. We went through this short-term disaster with the Democrats because they thought it would be good politically, and it's an honor now to sign this incredible bill and get our country working again. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. I don't know if you have questions. I think we really have a really great situation. We have a country that we love, and we have a country that's in great shape. As you know, we have now it's over $18 trillion invested in our country by other people and countries. That's a record. There's never been a country that had so much, and that money's going into also building new auto plants, new AI plants, new everything. We've never had a time like this. Thank you very much, everybody. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so I noticed a comment here from Uriel, and Uriel says, why didn't you mention it yesterday? Because I've told you, sometimes I like to let things simmer for 24, 48 hours. And then I like to rewatch a lot of things. This guy gives out so much signal when he's talking. I have to sit back, and I couldn't do it last night while it was live. You know, just as you saw me stop here and like, watch this. It's because I had already watched it and rewatched it, and I knew when the points were coming. And so I watch news like a football coach. I will say, oh, wait a second, hold on, pause. What did he just say there? Because when you're watching it live, you just sit back and and he talks and it's over. But he's hitting so many points. I mean, just so many points as he's going through everything that he says. Even that last part about what we're going to be building, what we're going to be doing, he keeps going bam, 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 bam. And when you watch something live, it just goes right there. And I didn't want to interrupt people at 10:30 last night. And then on top of that, I wanted to watch it again. Obviously, I cut it. So if I cut it, that means I've been watching it today as well. And I do that very often when he talks because he's so quick. And there's so many things that he's talking about. And obviously, when the president speaks, people listen. So that's what I do. What? Ooh, uh-oh. I got something.
Breaking news into the Fanfare news feed.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I got something for you guys. In closing here, I got some breaking news for you. Eric Swalwell has been referred to the Department of Justice for potential criminal charges after he did it too. Evidence of mortgage fraud was found by FA Chairman Bill Pulte. Swalwell not only committed mortgage fraud, he deemed himself ineligible to be a member of Congress as he declared his D.C. residence his primary residence. Perhaps Caitlin Collins was correct, or whoever it was, Katie Torr. We all do it. Everybody lies. Remember that little thing she said about Letitia James? This is everybody does it. I guess they did. I guess it was just one big interest down payment scam for everybody in Congress in Washington. Unbelievable. No public record searches show a home owned or leased by Swalwell in California. Members of Congress are required under Article 1, Section 2 of the United States Constitution to be inhabitants of the state they represent at the time of their election. Swalwell was not and is not an inhabitant of California, it seems. And here's the actual deed that he signed. And I guess they're highlighting here where he says this is his principal residence. And the principal residence is for a house in Washington, D.C. Hey, Eric, you got a little bit of a problem here. And you can't go retroactively. Oh, I was living with my mom in California. I bet it's true. I bet they've all been doing it. I bet they've all been taking money from you to get mortgages they're not supposed to have. But then again, I shouldn't be talking about this because, when did this become a real estate show? I'm sorry. Did I have too much fun with that? Well, maybe I shouldn't do this breaking news of a person in Congress who might have committed mortgage fraud on a real estate transaction. I don't know, maybe I should be talking about, the files. Moron. Oh boy, is he in trouble. He is in deep poop trouble. The fact that now he's being referred, I'm with most of you. At this point, we got to begin seeing some of these people go down. That's the other part of it. They need to go to get arrested. Whew, wow. Starfleet. I watched The Big Short on Paramount Plus again last night. Hold on, what's he say here? I now understand MBS and CDO. The bankers had no clue, or maybe they did. And St. Patrick, didn't Fetterman get threats for voting with the right, and the next day his face is messed up? That's a little suspicious. Barry, Demon Barry, you should watch Caleb Hammer. I think it would be perfect for your financial segments. You will see a lot of financially illiterate people there. Why do I want to go wade into that stuff? Oh my God. Demon, following my previous chat, after watching Caleb, I understand way more on why we just can't give a mortgage to anyone. No, you can't. In fact, if you want to test it, go find somebody on the street that you don't know and hand them $100 and tell them, just give me $20 next month. But you'll do it if the government guarantees it. Let's see here. Chapo, I love when people I know are successful, especially if I help them do it. A rising tide raises all ships. Also, good having successful people around. You're exactly right. Hunsky, Detroit Lions receiver Amon St. Brown had to apologize for doing it. I didn't see that. I was telling you yesterday at the game with the Lions and Commanders, he did the Trump dance, and he's saying that he had to apologize. Apologize. Thornton Maloney, if he's not, he's going down in flames in the midterms next year, but by all means keep cheerleading and ignore the warning signs. I'm not really sure who that was about. Look, Ma, if you're talking about Trump, again, if he's going down in flames, what do you... I don't know your context here because it's later, but if you feel that way, what are you going to do? What are you doing? I was talking to Ashley about it, and it was funny because, we were talking about people who are just out there talking, and they're trying to convince me, or they're trying to convince you that all hell's going to break loose and Trump's going to lose the midterms and everything else. And I'm like, well, if you're convinced of it, are you building your ark? I'm telling you, if you start saying that in the comments, you'll watch people they'll probably block you. Because I don't need to be warned. I see the same thing you do. I'll take care of me, you take care of you. I don't need to tell you, hey, he's going to lose the midterms next year. Okay, that's how you feel. That's how you feel. Good luck. Look, Ma, thank you. Ziga, people do not realize there will never be another president who did more for their base than Trump. Can't take the complaining anymore. They forget November. They forget Biden. They forget Kamala. Tinley, Trump really drove posters left, right, and nuts. He sure did. And the funniest thing about it, just imagine this. You don't know what's coming next. Think of it as going to like the finest restaurant and you don't know what the last course is going to be. Or you go to a great concert, you don't know what the next song is going to be. You ever go to a concert and the lights go down and there's nothing, and then all of a sudden you hear the next note, and you're like, yeah, that's that song. But until you heard that note and you heard the prelude, you didn't know what song was coming next. So everything you're doing, hey, bet you're going to play Stairway to Heaven next. No, I think they're going to play, this or that. And you don't know. And that's what pollsters are doing right now. They're talking to people who have no freaking clue with a guy who's not giving you the signals. Well, kind of. So you don't know what's going to happen a month from now. Just imagine that. You're saying, oh, the midterms are it's awful. Now what happens in February if he does the filibuster and everything changes? Oh, well, he did all that work. Well, maybe you should wait and see what he's got planned. Just saying. Just saying. Because he showed us, you don't know. Jose, Barry, it's jealousy. People want things given, not earned. It's just to demoralize people. Yeah, don't let them. Ozark, if you want it, then go get it. If you won't try, then shut up. Go-getters get results. Whiners get left behind. Not where I want to be, but I have a plan. Exactly. And then the part of that about having a plan is also if you need to help fine-tuning that plan. You see, you can tweet 30 times a day, but if you're tweeting 30 times a day about the sky falling in, why don't you talk about, hey, is there any way, ask Grok, is there any way I can keep the sky up? Is there any way I can help keep the sky up? Is there anybody who can help me keep the sky up? Well, it's going to fall. Okay, if you believe it's going to fall, what are you doing about it? Chapo, we the people need to start educating people, because if we wait for the government to do it, they're only going to teach them communism. Bingo. That's exactly why I waste my breath. I don't feel like I'm wasting it. I'm trying to let people know there are things you can do. You're not precluded. Your fate is not sealed. Trust me, I give you information. Hopefully it's different than other people. I know some people don't like it. They're like, what am I supposed to do with it? That's up to you. All I can do is show you. Tilly, I watched Benny today about the homes. He makes my stomach sick. So before I left, I said in the chat room, earn work for what you want. Stop expecting everything for free. How'd that work out? They don't like to hear that. So boomer, I'm already working. Hello, Tilly. Chapo, the helicopter parents that babied these kids till they were 30 are the reasons why they are spoiled brats. They want everything handed to them. Tilly, remember, if they talk about the files, we won. Yeah, that's what they're in trouble. Chapo, after the Almighty God, in Trump we trust. Yes, absolutely. Tilly, we are still grieving the loss of our daughter-in-law's son's wife. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Now the granddaughter, which is a lesbian, is taken home. Wow, so sorry to hear that. Tilly, again, thank you everyone for your kindness and prayers. Yeah, we're here for you. We're here. Fikowski, better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. And Jose, Barry, check out the latest meme, Trump playing the trumpet. Hold on, let me see if I can find that, and hopefully I can play it if the if the music isn't copyrighted or something. Where is it? Let's see if Trump put it up. Yeah, like I said, does this man look like he's spear? I don't see it on his profile, so somebody else must have made it. Let me see if is this it? No, I don't see it. No, I don't see it. Otherwise, I would play it for you. All right, everybody. We will rejoin if you'd like at about 8:30 tonight. We'll watch Hannity and J.D. Vance, and I'll bring in whatever news I find between now and that time. Talk to you guys later.
Melania.